Welcome back to Yellowdig's Brew Up Your Yellowdig Skills series, where we're serving up strategies to build stronger, more engaging learning communities. This was Level 2, the Latte, adding flavor with strategy. In this session, Alessandra Poilin walked us through the key ingredients for moving from basic setup to strategic success in designing meaningful learning communities. She shared how to apply Yellowdig's best practices, from crafting purposeful topics and using instructor notes to guide discussion, to giving feedback that truly drives deeper engagement. If you're ready to go beyond surface-level participation and build richer, learner-led conversations, you're in the right place. Let's revisit what we brewed together.
Welcome to Yellowdig Brew. We are very, very excited to have you here today. The ones who are here for the first time, welcome. The ones who were here last time, welcome back. We are very happy, right, to have you here. So my name is Alessandra. I am a success partner here at Yellowdig, and I'm going to guide you through this second webinar, right? A little bit about my background. I have this 20 years of experience working in education. I started as an English as a second language instructor here in Brazil, where I live and where I'm from. And my last position was a pedagogical coordinator at an international school. And I'm here today for some time working at Yellowdig. Very happy here with my team. And as you know, we have created a 3-workshop series. My friend Vicky, who is here, presented all about Yellowdig basics last week, right? Vicky, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Well, I'm Vicky. I'm located here in Argentina. I'm a success partner at Yellowdig. And well, last time we talked, we saw Yellowdig as an overall view, right? And well, today we have the second workshop.
Yeah. Yes, we'll start the latte in just a minute. And my friend Deb, who is also here, is going to talk about data in Yellowdig next week. Deb?
Yes, next week. And as we've been promoting that session, it's like 3 shots of espresso, like American version. We know data takes some of it to really dive into what Yellowdig has to offer within the platform that can really help you. I'm a success manager here at Yellowdig for about 3.5 years. Before that as well, I was also an instructor at Baker University here in Kansas, and then instructional designer. So glad you joined us. I hope you enjoy this, and let's get going.
Yes, very good. Thank you, my friends. So Bob, Deb, and Vicky will be on the chat answering all the questions you have, right? So feel free to ask everything you want. They will be there helping me. All right? So as Deb said, and Vicky also, we had last time, we had with Vicky the Yellowdig basics, right? Today we have the latte, so we are going a little bit further. And next week, the espresso, the triple espresso. Oh my goodness, that's going to be good. So today we'll move beyond the basic brew, right? We'll add flavor with strategy, all right? And who is this session for? Right? This session is if you have run 1 or 2 courses or communities in Yellowdig, if you're interested in strategies to improve engagement and outcomes, or if you were here last week and you want to continue your learning process, right? And as you know, those who are joining us for the first time will receive a $10 Starbucks gift card, okay? So, what are our goals for this session? First one, guide you to effectively apply and leverage Yellowdig for a deeper impact. The second one, develop a community of learning and applying best practices. You'll listen to us saying a lot these 2 words, best practices. And analyze strategies to improve engagement and outcomes, okay? So, I don't know if you know this, but as a true Brazilian that I am, I believe in working hard while also having fun and enjoying the learning process. So my idea here is for all of us to have a great time together, right, while we explore Yellowdig's best practice. Sounds good? So, yes, now let's have fun, right? Now is where the fun begins. I want to know if you all pay attention to Vicky's workshop last week. Let's see, right? we're having our best practice true or false challenge right now, and it's going to be very simple. I'll read some statements about Yellowdig, and when Deb launches the poll here, right, you're going to see it on your computer or your cell phone, you have to answer if it's true or false, right? And for the false statements, you can write why they're false in the chat, only if you wish to, right? You don't have to, only if you wish to, and if you know the answer. Are you ready to start? Deb, can you do it? Yay, great, 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 great. So the first question, the first statement is, Yellowdig encourages instructors to create rigid, weekly prompts that learners must strictly adhere to for their participation. True or false? All right, let me go to the answer. It is false. Yes, it's false, because Yellowdig's design and best practice advocate for fluid, organic, and student-driven community experience rather than weekly prompt discussions, because as we have already said before, and Vicky did that very well last week, Yellowdig is not a discussion board. We are a learning community, okay? Number two. When creating topics in Yellowdig, it is best practice to use descriptive names like mental health, for example, rather than generic labels like week 1. True or false? True or false? Okay. It is true, yes. So using descriptive topic tags, convert traditional discussion prompts into conversation themes that work well for building an engaged community, right? And we'll talk about that later. All right. Very good, very good. The next one is, to establish a strong presence in Yellowdig and maximize learners' participation, instructors should primarily focus on creating new posts to share course content regularly. True or false? Let's see. It is false, of course. Yes, we recommend that instructors comment more and post less to maximize learners' participation, right? Data shows a correlation between instructors commenting and increased student participation, because it makes instructors seem more present, engaged, and responsive to students' needs. We'll also talk about this in a minute. Next one. Yellowdig recommends that instructors model desired behavior by setting expectations and sharing example posts rather than leading every conversation. True or false? True or false? It's true. Yes, Vicky talked a lot about this Latte, right? Last week about that. So Yellowdig is designed as a social learning platform that encourages participation, sharing, and community building, right? It's built for fluid and ongoing conversations with flexible participation. And the last sentence, the last one. Instructors can use the verified response accolade to highlight top learners' answers, reducing their needs to answer every question. And this is our accolade, right? The verified response. True or false? It's true, yes. This functionality of Yellowdig directly helps in alleviating the burden of instructors answering all students' questions, right? While still having instructor identifying the best answer. And we'll talk about more the accolades and the verified response accolade in a minute. All right. So everyone, good job. That was very nice. Thanks for having all the answers and participating with us. Don't forget, if you have questions, right there on the chat, my friends are there to help you, okay? So before we go, a little deeper in some of Yellowdig's aspects, we'll have a little recap on last week's webinar, right? So we can have some context here before talking about the best practice. So what we can see here, and we saw this last week, here is the community of inquiry theory, right? And I like to say this is why Yellowdig was created, right? This is a framework that we use to understand how effective the learning process happens. And these are the necessary elements for students to succeed, right? As you can see, it focuses on 3 key presence. The first one is the cognitive presence. And this is the ability to think critically and deeply about the content being studied. And it involves exploring, understanding, and applying new knowledge. The teaching presence, right? This refers to the role of the instructor in guiding the learning process. It includes designing the course, facilitating discussions, and providing feedback. And the last one here in yellow is all about connected and engaged students feel with engaged students feel with each other. It helps create a sense of community and comfort in sharing ideas, right? This presence focuses on how connected and engaged students feel with each other when participating in discussions or working in groups, for example. And if you think, right, when these 3 elements work together, they create a supportive environment where meaningful learning takes place. And if you think about it, the teaching presence and the cognitive presence are always there in the classroom, right? Regardless if it's an in-person or an online environment. But that doesn't mean that the social presence is there as well. We either assume it's already there or we are not necessarily paying attention to it, right? Since the students are there in the classroom. But that doesn't mean that they feel connected or comfortable in sharing their thoughts or they are actively engaging with their peers, right? Some people may be shy. Some people may be just like me. I prefer listening, trying to understand, and then give an opinion, right? So I understand what I'm talking about, okay? So for learning to happen in an effective way, these 3 elements have to be together, okay? They have to happen in the learning environment. And you know better than me that this is a typical social assignment, right? That happens in the discussion boards. And in many learning communities, social presence can be lacking, regardless if it's in the classroom or in person or online. And this happens particularly in common assignments like this, the discussion boards, right? And you know how it works, right? A discussion board is created. All students have to answer a weekly prompt and then comment on 2 other posts. And notice that the weekly prompt is the same for every student, right? So let's take a look on how it works in this chart. So first you have the go-getter, always have, right? They come to the assignment early and they have just a few people to comment to. They usually create a very complete and valuable post. During the week, they complete the assignment with the 2 comments, right? Most students, they are all here, right? Then we have most of the class. These students will come very close to the due date, like maybe Sunday in the morning or Monday morning, right? And check on other posts to create theirs, right? Their comments are going to be on a surface level, meaning just to complete the assignment. We have the procrastinator, of course, right? And the one who comes on Sunday night and has no feedback from others because there's no one there, right, anymore. People have already been there. And some situation here are going to be on the surface level and the post created after checking the previous ones. And the instructor is here, right? Discussion boards end up being like a bunch of grading to do and not a very fun one since everyone is answering the same prompt and comments are not necessarily valuable, right? Every student is here participating, right? They are here participating. But the conversation is not actually happening since who are they writing to? They're writing to the instructor, right? And our goal here was to assess understanding, but this type of assignments often fall short on that, producing more negative than positive outcomes. But the good news is our beautiful mess is here, right? Yellowdig creates a completely different environment where discussion boards turn to valuable conversations between everyone involved, right? As you can see, the icons here are the same as in the scenario we looked before, but they each interact in very different ways, right? And we added the student starter. Let's talk about the differences here. So here, we don't encourage the instructor to start every conversation because students have the power to start their own conversations, ask questions, share experiences, and connect their knowledge, learning, and experiences with real-world situations related to the course concepts. And multiple conversations can occur at the same time, and they can involve topics seen from the very start of the course until the end of it. So if you were here in week 5, for example, you can go back to week 1 and connect the topics, right? And you can connect with the real world, what's going on in the world. The single scrolling feed the platform has encourages people to engage and stay, right? You see something, you keep scrolling, just like you do on LinkedIn, for example, and then you interact with what interests you. And in Yellowdig, conversations do not need to end. They are evergreen. This is my favorite word. And if we're talking about something in week 3, as we said, and it becomes again important in 5 weeks, you can go back there and jump back into the conversation. And finally, the point system, which we're going to talk in a few minutes, encourages students to come into the community early and create better conversations, which we'll see how it works in a minute, right? And as I told you before, we are going a little deeper into 3 of our 4 pillars today. We are going to talk more about motivation, right? And as Vic said last week, in Yellowdig, we motivate our learners through the point system, okay? Then we are going to course relevance and to guide learners' discussion. Yellowdig topic tags, we'll talk about the topic tags, focus conversations on the concepts you want students to explore without using weekly prompts. That's very important. And the last one, and I would say is the most important one, the facilitator's presence, right? As an instructor, being an active member of the Yellowdig community is key. You can set the tone, engage in discussions, and keep conversations flowing, right? This not only encourages students to participate, but also saves you time, and that's very good, right? Yellowdig provide tools that make it easier to maintain a strong instructor presence, right? Without needing to respond to every single post. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And of course, data, right? Yellowdig gives you a powerful insights of data and into your students' learning. And my amazing friend Deb is going to talk about it next week, right? And while we go deeper into our pillars, everyone, I want you to notice how much they are connected, right? If you follow our best practice and suggestions, of course, you will succeed. And we are here to help you, right? Okay, so don't forget, if you have questions, right there on the chat. I'm sure my friends are taking care of that and doing a great job. Let me have some water. Okay, so talking about the motivation in our point system, right? We have some key practices here, some best practices. And the first one I want to talk about is the default points, right? I'm going here to the platform, and I want to show you, before we go to the points widget, I just want to show you here, right, that we use the standard and the default points for Yellowdig. And why? Standard participation expectation was baked by years of research to increase voluntary engagement, right? And why is it beneficial, right? People always ask us, well, why we have to use the standard? because it increases voluntary engagement, right? It's specifically designed to motivate students and encourage participation. Also, it fosters good community behavior and conversation. The social points, right, which are part of Yellowdig's best practice, focus students on interacting with their peers rather than just the professors, right, leading to more back and forth conversations. It also motivates students beyond requirements. So this default point system encourages students to exceed the required point goal, indicating that they find intrinsic value in participating and engaging with the community, right? And it also supports learning outcomes. The best practices, including the recommended point system, lead to changes in individual student behaviors that collectively improve overall community health and learning outcomes. Conversations, which are driven by the point system, are crucial for learning, and communities where students engage in more conversations tend to have better grades. Okay? Great. So the second one here that we have is the reaction points. And I want to show you where to get the reactions, right? Here we have a post in our demo community. And here you can add a reaction. And we can use all the emojis, right, that we have available here in Yellowdig. And why are they so important, right? It encourages good participation and conversation. And they are considered best practice because they contribute to more conversations and more engaging communities. They are the social points, right? The formal social points, which drive good community behavior and more conversation by focusing students on interacting with their peers, which are the real audience, right? Rather than only with the instructors. And again, it leads to more back and forth conversations. And it rewards quality and interaction, right? By awarding points for reactions and comments, Yellowdig ensures that posts earn more points when they are good and they get good conversation started, right? This reinforces the idea that sharing interesting content that drives good conversation is the goal. And just a reminder, right? The person giving the reaction right here on this post, if I would give a reaction here in this post, this person doesn't get the points. Only the people who received the reaction. All right? Very good. Something else I want to show you here is the weekly max enabled. This is what is this? First of all, right? What is the weekly max? This is a feature within Yellowdig's point system, and it refers to the maximum number of points students can earn each period. And the point system configuration includes weekly points as recommended settings, right? And you can see it right here, weekly points as recommended, okay? And when setting up your community, you will need to enter the start and end dates for when learners can earn the points, right? The end date you choose will be the weekly rollover that resets the maximum students can earn each period, allowing them to start earning points again, right? It promotes good community behavior because it encourages regular activity through the weekly max, right? And the system supports the overall goal of driving good community behavior and more conversations, okay? This contributes to building communities where more students exceed the point goal, demonstrating that they find intrinsic value in participating beyond just fulfilling a requirement, right? And you can see all of this when you go to the points or the points widget, right? You show details and they can see the cumulative total, what they have to get, the grade, participation log, right? The period that they have to get the grade, the points, and what's cumulative, okay? Something nice also that we have here is the buffer, right? And this refers to extra points added to the weekly or period point target in a Yellowdig community, right? This buffer is designed to give learners flexibility if they miss a week or two of participation. Maybe they were sick. I had a meeting before that today, and the instructor asked that, what if my student is sick? What do I do? So there is this buffer, right? And they can still reach the 100% participation goal by earning maximum points in other weeks, right? Okay. And the next one is the grade passback enabled. As you can see here in our participation settings, pass grades to your gradebook is checked, right? So Yellowdig is integrated into your course grade, right? It offers the functionality to connect its point system to your institution's gradebook. And it means that points earned by students for their participation in Yellowdig can be passed back and reflected in your LMS gradebook, right? So this connection is essential for making Yellowdig an official and meaningful part of your course, okay? And you can decide the percentage you want it to have in your course, 5%, 10%, 15%. So students get the weekly points inside Yellowdig, and when they pass to your grade passbook, it happens in the percentage in the end of the course, okay? The last thing here that I want to talk about, the point system, is comments on posts and comments worthing more per word than posts. And why is that, right? And I'm going to the next slide so you can take a look. The point configuration directly encourages students to engage in real conversations by reading and responding thoughtfully to their peers, right? It helps shift the focus from simply generating content, right? Simply generating posts, to starting and maintaining conversations. And that's what we want. We want engagement. We want people talking to each other and not only posting things. And the goal becomes sharing interest content that drives good conversation rather than just accumulating a certain number of posts, right? And when the emphasis is solely on posting, students might procrastinate or try to complete assignments with the least amount of work, which can lead to quality problems, repetitive posts, or maybe borrowing, right, from others. And by making comments more valuable, students are incentivized to engage as social partner, which naturally discourages copying and promotes unique contributions. Okay, so let's get to the points, right? And as you know, because Vicky told you last week, and I'm gonna say it again because it is very important, right? There are two main ways to get points in Yellowdig. And the first one is by creating something new, right? And the second one is by receiving interactions from others. And that's very simple. So let's talk about this in details. First, you get points by creating something new, like a post, as I said before. But something new also includes the comments I create on other posts from other peers. And I get points for doing that as well, right? These two types of comments produce better outcomes and engagement in the overall experience. Now, the second way to get points is by the interactions you receive on your post. And I love to say that. That's the game changer, right? Let me give you an example. I'm going to use my friends here to give this example. So Vicky creates a post, right? She gets some points because she created something new. Good. Now I comment on her post, right? And I get some points as well. But now Deb chooses to comment on Vicky's post, not on my post, because Vicky's post was valuable to her, right? So Vicky receives additional points for that. And what does it mean? Take a look at the amount of points they get when they are connecting with their community. What does it mean? Our goal when creating posts is to make an interesting one, to include valuable information, enough to make others want to interact with it to get points. And Yellowdig point system is designed to motivate students to join the community early, right? And not procrastinate. and more importantly, to foster meaningful course relevant conversations. And I know maybe you were thinking, my goodness, this girl is only talking about engagement, conversation. She sounds like a broken record, but that's what we want, right? Learning communities are designed to promote interaction and course relevant conversations. And that's what we want here. And that's what we want you to understand when we are talking about Yellowdig. Okay. All right. So now it's time for course relevance. And by course relevance, we are talking about our friends' topic tags, okay? We talked about how students can create content and be motivated to do it. But we still want them talking about the concepts related to the course, right? And this will be achievable with the topic tags. And let me show you here in our community that every single post has a topic tag. Here they are, right? Career applications, behavioral psychology, and they are those little tags, right? That you can see here in every post. Motivation and emotion, learning and memory. And as Vicky said, to create a post, you have to choose a topic tag, right? And let me just, it is going to open here. I want to show you that when we, here they are. When we create a post, you have to choose one topic tag, okay? So I'll choose here career applications, for example, and it will be right here, right? And Vicky also showed you last time where to find the topic tags and how to create them, right? And today we'll go a little further where we implement the shift, okay? So why do we want to create course relevant topic tags? Why? Because it shapes the community conversations, right? Yellowdig encourages the creation of course relevant topics to actively shape the conversations in the community. So topics are where the magic happens in Yellowdig. And this is, I got from my friend Deb, she always says that. And allowing for content to be course relevant and helping to track conversations, right? Quality topics are the good beans, as we are talking about coffee, right? That connect to the great course design, serving as the beginning of great conversations, right? And overall, course relevant topics are fundamental aspect of designing an effective Yellowdig community, guiding engagement, fostering deeper learning, and making the platform more navigable and useful for both students and instructors. It also makes people go back to what they want to talk about, right? So it's much easier if I'm talking about cognitive psychology, for example, and if I want to go back to this topic, than if it's just written week 1. Like, what was week 1 about? I don't even remember. So I have the topic and the context behind it, right? Something else, the descriptive topic tags. Why do we want to do that? Because descriptive topics have a very considerable impact on students finding information. They're very similar here, right? Very similar, but I wanted to divide them into different things so you can understand better. When instructors use specific and meaningful topics instead of week 1, model 2, and require students to add a topic to their posts because they have to, it improves the ability of students to locate relevant content. And something very, very nice about the topics, let me just cancel it here, is that they are filters. So if you click, for example, in career applications, you are going to see all the posts related to, they are here, all about career applications, okay? And then it makes it easier to find conversations, right? It can become a study guide or something like that, right? And this organized approach helps to prevent the feed from feeling overwhelming, right? Especially in larger communities. By using a topic tag for a specific theme, individual student contributions and their resulting conversations can bubble back to the top of the feed. That's what we want, making them easier to find. The third thing I want to show you is the fun topic tags. And as I told you in the beginning, that's what I like, right? I like to have fun while I'm working. So why do we want to create fun topic tags? Because creating elements of fun can contribute to a more engaging and welcoming environment for users. You can even create a poll right in the beginning. This is a suggestion from one of the instructors I help sometimes. You can even create this poll in the beginning of your course, asking students what they would like to talk about in your Yellowdig community, right? And then you can just come here, create a post. And then I'm just going to choose some here, for example. And then you come and you create a poll. You give some options to your students, right? And in the beginning, you can leave the points labeled here, right? For them to get points because they're talking about sorry, I clicked impose point system. Yes. So you can leave the points there for them because they need those social points, right? They need to understand how to work inside Yellowdig and how the community works. And after 2 weeks, you disable the points for that specific topic, right? Because you don't want your students getting points just because they're talking about what is fun. Right? We want them to have fun. We want them to understand how to use the platform, but we also want them to focus on the course content ones. Another instructor who I help sometimes gave the idea of creating a topic tag called Coffee Time Chat. And I loved that. It has everything to do with what we are doing right now. And this would be like a coffee time or coffee shop conversation talking about what happened in the weekend and something like that. Okay. And the last one here is topic management. And this is very, very important. Why? Because it allows instructors to inform your instruction, right? Your teaching by understanding what students are talking about and potentially struggling with. So it supports instructor pedagogy and streamlines management. And Deb, my friend here, will talk about it a little bit more about it next week when we go deeper into data. Okay? And everyone, I'm talking about your role in Yellowdig. I told you right here, creating polls and asking your students or learners what they want to talk about, because this is your role in Yellowdig, right? This is how we set expectations and how we manage our community in Yellowdig. And that being said, I'm going to the last topic here, right? Our last pillar, it is the facilitator presence. And for that, I just want to go one more slide here, and then I'll go back so we can talk about the setting expectations, right? What do we want? What I'm trying to explain here. We need to set expectations to our learners when they start using Yellowdig. And why we do that? Because they are very used to discussion boards, right? As you all are, we all are used to discussion boards. But Yellowdig is a different environment, and we have to let our learners know that their behavior inside the community has to be different, right? If they do what they do in discussion boards, if you do what you do in discussion boards in Yellowdig, it's not going to work, right? So we want you, we need you, we advise you to set expectations and let your learners know. First of all, why you are creating a learning community and the kind of conversations you want. And this leads you to modeling, what I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And what to expect from you in the community, right? You are the instructor there, but you are also a member of Yellowdig's community. And you'll be there. You ask questions, you are going to answer questions. You are not going to read every post because, right, it won't be necessary. So this is what they can expect from you. Behaving as a member and a model in the community. And also what you explicitly expect from them in the community, right? You don't expect them only going there and saying, good post, I don't agree, I agree, or something like that. You expect them saying things that matter, saying something that is meaningful, saying something that is going to spice up the community, right? And you, as the instructor, can give an example what you want them to do. Modeling, as I said before, right? You can share a post of a course concept, right? Telling them what you want them to do, right? Related experience or something related in the news, relating to what's going on in the real world. And very important, follow through with your actions. Because if you want them having a kind of action inside the community, a kind of behavior inside the community, you have to do it as well, because you are the model. And how do you do that in the platform? You can ask, Alessandra, how can I do that in the platform? How am I going to set expectations with them? You can come here, and I'm going to use the same one, right? Create a post. And this will be example, but it can be introduction. It can be, you can create a topic tag called expectations. You can create this kind of topic tag so they understand what we're talking about. And you come here and record a video, right? Inside the platform. You can do that inside the platform. And you say, hi, my name is Alessandra. I'm here with you in this course, and I expect you to engage with your friends and talk to your friends and answer questions and also ask questions, right? Answer your friend's question and behave as you were in a learning community inside Yellowdig. I will be here. I will mediate. I will facilitate your conversations. I'm also a member of the community, and I'm going to participate with you as well. I won't be able to read all the posts, but everything that is important, I'll be here. I will be right close to you and everything. So you can do this right here inside the community, and they will see this first thing, right? When they go into Yellowdig. And of course, this will be again modeling for them to also create videos and posts when they are inside the community. Okay? So let me go back here. I'm sorry. And as we are talking about your presence, I would like to talk about your strong instructor presence, okay? Because it means connection with your students. If you only go there once a week and you don't understand what's going on, like you're not part of the community, right? You can think of facilitator presence in Yellowdig like enjoying your daily latte, as we are talking about the latte here, right? A consistent, mindful presence every day for 15 minutes, like going through, scrolling your feed. And this is not about more work, but about adding flavor and connection to your community without feeling overwhelmed, right? Because you don't have to grade everything. And when you have a strong instructor presence in Yellowdig, it becomes crucial for connecting with your students because it directly influences student engagement, motivation, and the overall quality of the learning community, right? This connection stems from several key aspects of instructor behavior within the platform. And then comment more and post less. Also, comments to extend valuable conversations, right? I've said this before, but I'm going to repeat. Data shows a direct correlation between instructor commenting and increased student participation, right? Instructors who interact through comments are perceived as more helpful, present, and engaged in students' activity and responsive to students' needs, right? By commenting more and posting less, specifically after initial modeling posts, because you have to model before, as I said, instructors guide students to start their own conversations. And this empowers students to to find agency to ask questions. And that's what we want, right? And then they're going to answer each other's questions. This is agency, right? They're doing it by themselves and sharing their own course concept relevant content. And such as news, articles, videos, which helps them connect with the material and provides real-world relevance. And modeling behavior, I've said a lot about modeling behavior. I'll be fast here. We always advise instructors to model the type of posts and interactions they wish to see from students, right? And this could involve sharing, as I said, introductory posts with videos or course-related new articles. And it's going to guide and encourage them to do the same, right? These posts are an easy way for students to begin earning points and getting to know each other, right? And then you foster comfort and interaction. The last one here, my friends here, accolades. I have just some examples here in the accolades. Vicky showed you last time where to find them, but I'm going back just quickly so you don't forget, right? You just go to settings and you click accolades, but you can also see them here in the platform, right? Those little beautiful badges connecting to prior knowledge, great question, verified response. Here they are. And you can give your students accolades when you click manage accolades, right? But I want to show you why we give them accolades, right? Because it models desired behavior. Accolades are an effective and easy way for instructors to model the behavior they want to see from students in the community. Again, modeling, everything is connected. And by thoughtfully using those point-bearing accolades to acknowledge outstanding posts and comments, instructors can highlight contributions they wish other students to emulate. And this includes recognizing specific types of encouraged behavior, right? It also recognizes quality contributions. They are a tool to recognize posts or comments, right? Outstanding posts or comments. For instance, the verified response accolade that is super helpful. It can be used to point out the best student submitted answers to questions, right? This not only highlights quality, but can also serve as an effective way to create a study guide for students. And also by using the verified response accolade, right, that is right here, to highlight students' answers, right, you can alleviate the burden of answering every student question themselves. And again, they become agents of their learning, right? They ask questions, the others can answer, and you as instructor read that answer and you say, wow, that's an amazing answer. And then you give the verified response and they understand that this is an answer corrected and used by you, okay? Accolades are also filters, and when students are here, you are here in your page, right? In the first page, let me just cancel this draft. And you click on the accolades, they will become filters, and you can see all the posts, right, that received that kind of accolade, posts and comments that received that specific accolades, right? And when you have these as filters, it's also related to community management, right? Defining and managing accolades is a component of community setup and management. And along with the topic tags, they help organize and reward engagement within the community. Both of them are filters, and you can get your scrolling feed with that specific thing that you are looking for. Okay? So I've talked a lot, I know, but the last thing I want to show you here, everyone, it has everything to do with what Deb is going to talk about next week, but I want to just I just want you to make this connection with me, right? Here we have the community health. This is where we find, I'm going to show you here in the community, right? You go to data, community health. And this is where we find the conversation ratio. And what is the conversation ratio? Is the total number of comments divided by the total number of posts. And we, of course, you know that, we like to see this number 8 or higher, right? And sometimes people say, oh my goodness, I can't. How do I do that? Let's think of everything we've talked until now, right? So if you, going back to our pillars here very quickly, if you are using the point system, the motivation in the correct way, in the way we advise you, using the best practices, if you are creating the topic tags with relevant topic tags that has everything, they have everything to do with your community, what you want your students talking about. If you have a good facilitator presence, right, inside your community, talking about your expectations, and you use data to inform your teaching, you are going to have a very high conversation ratio, right? You can do that because it's all connected, right? If you use Yellowdig as a learning community and use our best practice, it's going to work very well. Okay, so thanks a Latte. I love this. Thanks, Deb, because I know it was you. Thanks a Latte for joining us. It was a pleasure to be here and having this webinar, my first webinar here at Yellowdig. Here, there are some resources, right, that make Yellowdig a Latte. We'll do this all the time. A Latte more enjoyable. So, Yellowdig best practice, right? We're going to send you after the webinar. This is a guide where you can see all of our best practice. Yellowdig Academy. Also, there are many articles that you can find information about Yellowdig. Yellowdig NoBot, it's perfect when you want to find that quick answer that you need to have a question. Oh my goodness, I don't want to send an email. I'll go to the NoBot. And the instructor and designer course. We highly advise you, all of you who are Yellowdig instructors, to take this course. It takes 1 hour. It's very fast. And it gives you an overview of everything we do and all the best practices inside Yellowdig. All right? And next week, we are having the data, the last workshop, the triple shot espresso, and how to use data to inform your teaching. And I hope you join us next week again. All right?
Thanks for watching the second session of our Brew Up Your Yellowdig Skills workshop series. With Level 2 under your belt, you're one step closer to becoming a true community-building barista, equipped with the strategies to design more intentional, engaging learning spaces. Don't forget, this was just the latte. Our final session, the mocha, is coming up soon, and we'd love to see you there as we wrap up the series with advanced strategies and insights. In the meantime, visit yellowdig.co to explore more resources or reach out if you have any questions. We're here to help. Until then, keep your community brewing.